Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham. Welcome to this Gallagher Premiership betting preview. It's Friday afternoon South African time at 4:15. We've got all the teams out. We have got the usual four fixtures to talk about. And I'm here to welcome a man who lives for his Gallagher Premiership. He lives for his rugby punting, full stop, let's face it. And welcome to Neil at Thoughts on Sports. First of all, Neil, quite a nice moustache you got going there. The Movember's worked out well for you.
No, thanks so much, Brent. Just trying to do my part out there. For those that know me personally, I can't grow the greatest amount of facial hairs, but the little bit of fur above the top lip seems to hold its own. So trying to do what I can. But it's fantastic to have some Gallagher Premiership on. I must say I really enjoyed the international window, but just deep down, part of side of me just always just misses that domestic rugby, just from a viewing perspective and a punting perspective. I just seem that the bookies always seem to get the international fixtures just quite close to the money. With the URC and the Gallagher, there's always just cracking value. So excited to sink my teeth into it.
Yeah, and I'm certainly looking forward to your opinions on those. But I will also ask you for your opinions on the internationals and anything else you like at the end of the show when we do the best bets section as well. But let's get into the action. The first game I've got up here, and I took these handicaps and total points lines just before, I'd say about 20 minutes before the show started. We've got Harlequins at home to Gloucester, -6.5. And a points line here of 53.5.
Oh no, Brent! What a cracking fixture we have. First up, over at the Twickenham Stoop, two teams who really like to throw the ball around. Harlequins especially. So Harlequins starting teams looking absolutely fantastic, seriously dangerous backline, centre pairings of Esther Hazen and Marchant. This can cause headaches for even like the best defensive sides in the world. And also, the Harlequins have just got absolute raw pace out wide in Caden Murley and Josh Bassett, who's made his way over from the Wasps after their administration. So lots of exciting players littered through the Harlequins side. And then once again, coming off the bench, Luke Northmore, who's been in fantastic try scoring form. So lots of attacking weapons that Harlequins have got to put out. You've got Wayne Barnes on the whistle. The conditions are looking fantastic over at the Twickenham Stoop. It will be a bit breezy, but no rain to speak about there. Also, if I just glance across the Gloucester side, also just heaps of attacking. Jake Morrison and Reece Samet, both lightning wingers out there, and then Carreras putting the strings at number 10 back from Argentinian international duty. So I think it's going to be an exceptionally open game. My best bet for this fixture, if you can get over 51 or 52.5 points, I think Sunbet's still at 51.5 at about 0.73. That's an absolute cracker. That should arrive within 60 minutes of the fixture. So that's my most confident play for this. Handicap, I feel like it's well priced. I expect a bit of a Quinn's bounce back, so I think it's fairly well priced there. So I'll leave that alone. So main interest over in the points, Brenty.
Excellent. I know the conductor I did see on Twitter a couple of days ago was going for that over 51.5. So money seems to have come for it. But as you say, rather take slightly the shorter price there and get around about the 15 to 20 mark on the over 51.5. Right, Newcastle up against Exeter. Here we got Newcastle +2.5 against the Chiefs.
Yeah, Brett, this is a bit of an interesting one. Once again, it's I've mentioned it a couple of times. It's exceptionally difficult to travel up north over to Newcastle, especially at this time of the year. The weather's bitterly cold over there. Often you get greeted with a bit of snow, but I see that there's no snow or rain to talk about. But the Exeter Chiefs, they've sort of had their troubles on the roads. They're missing a lot of players through to England international duty, the likes of Sam Simmons, Henry Slade, Luke Cowan, Dickey, so Jack Knowles. They're just missing quite sort of the backbone of their side there, but they've still got enough quality there. They've got sort of their first choice half-back pairing in Maunda and Joe Simmons to pull the string there. But then it's just, for me, the problem lies just a bit further down. Ian Whitson and Sean O'Brien, both good players, but they just don't sort of pack sort of the attacking edge that the Chiefs are known for, and sort of spreading it to their wings and integrating sort of the forwards in their game plan there. So a bit of a miss there for them. And then just over in the forward pack, they do have a nice bit of quality over in Christ Nurse, the Welsh international, and Jar Vermeulen. But I just think it's going to be a tough fixture traveling up to Falcons. Falcons don't lose too many players to the internationals here, so I've just got a funny feeling that there could be an upset on the cards here. So tentative play, but I do think that Falcons +2.5 is worthwhile of a punch here.
Yeah, I do recall someone, and I can't remember the line that he came on at. There was someone in the Good for the Game forum earlier in the week saying get on the Falcons, and I got a feeling it was at a bigger line, and the line has probably come in. So it seems to have been perhaps some money for them. I mean, Neil, I know we were talking about points a few weeks ago, and you were saying this is the time where you have to start looking out. You know, we've been going overs and getting points lines of 58.5. The bookies have clearly adjusted here when you look at some of the points lines this weekend to the fact that the weather is turning.
No, it's absolutely spot on here, Brent. Cole Dixon on the whistle. He's probably a neutral to an unders ref for me. Quite a technical style ref. Sort of likes to really just stamp his authority both at the set pieces. So especially in this sort of slowly winter where it just gets a bit dewy in the evenings, I'd be very, very tentative on the points line here. To be honest, at 47.5, I think it's well priced, but I'll still probably throw a couple of coins on the unders here and expect a bit of a scrappy affair with two sort of second string type sides just grinding it out here.
I always enjoy the way the punters classify the refs as overs, unders. I mean, I wonder if refs have any clue. Like, one day they'll be stumbling across a forum. It's like, oh, I was an unders ref. I never even knew that. Right, let's go on sale minus 9.5 against the Bristol Bears. And we've got another low points line here, 45.5.
Sure, Brent. So this points line has come in quite a lot. This opened up at 51.5. I sunk my teeth into that unders there. Over in Manchester, the weather's looking a little bit grim here. So I see that it's come down to 45.5. To be honest, that's probably well priced. I'd still probably lean on the unders, but obviously nailed in the early value, so I'll leave it alone here. But just touching on the handicap, this is a strong fancy from me. I like Bristol Bears to cover the spreads here. They've welcomed back their captain Stephen Luatua, who's set to run out for his 100th appearance there. There'll be a big morale boost through the Bears. And I just look at this Bristol Bears side playing against the Sale side, and it's somewhat similar to what they came up against the SAA side. Sale also really like that set piece type game. They've got a big strong pack. Sort of like to play quite direct rugby, kick to the corners here. So Bristol were able to come a fairly decent SAA side here. So there'll be no strangers to playing against this sort of rugby over in cold Manchester. So at 9.5, to be honest, Brent, I absolutely love this plus. I think it's a cracker. Bears have enough quality amongst, especially littered in their loose tree and Luatua, Harding and Bradbury. Bradbury's going to be absolutely key to this. And then just for me, a big deciding factor is the back three for the Bristol Bears. Heaps of experience in Pietel, Morahan, and less so in Ibitoya, but it just to sort of potentially sort of nullify that Sale kicking and territory based game here. So at 9.5, this probably gets my nod for my best bet on the handicap this weekend in the Gallagher on the Bristol Plus. On the Bristol Plus.
On the Bristol Plus. Okay, excellent. And then just thanks to the guys who've joined watching us live. Hello to you, Fareed. I see you said hello there in the live chat. Good to have you on the show. Let's move on. We've got one more game to get through in the Premiership. Leicester, minus 9.5 against London Irish. I don't have a points line here. I think this game's probably a Sunday kickoff.
Yeah, Brent, I had a little bit of a look. I think I saw about 49.5 for this fixture. To be honest, I'll sit on my hands for now until I get a bit better idea about how conditions will look. With that in mind, it would be sort of an early lean on the unders here. But just touching on the handicap here, I think that you have to take the Leicester Tigers minus here. Initially, I was leaning London Irish. I thought this could be some cracking value, but Leicester have really seemed to roll back with the big guns for this fixture. Got Wigglesworth and Bird pairing up in the halfbacks there. That's enough quality there. Got recent England international who's been released from the squad. Guy Porter coming off the bench. Jasper Wiese coming off the bench there. So they've got Tommy Reffel and Henry Liebenberg matching it up in the back row for the Tigers there. So it's a massively strong Tigers. Before the international break, the Tigers had a couple of sort of disappointing results where they would have expected to grind out some close victories. So they're looking at this London Irish side. London Irish are very much a summer type side. They love the warmer months, hate the colder months, love to throw the ball around. So traveling over to Leicester, it's going to be. I predict it's going to be pretty chilly over there. Massive Leicester forward pack. So I think it's going to be a seriously tough fixture for London Irish here. So yeah, Leicester minus 9.5 gets the nod for me.
But for Fareed going, Leicester's been flat this year. London Irish not getting their more going should make this cap. And I think also referring to Leicester making the cap there, if I'm reading that correctly. Right, Neil, well, only 4 games as usual at the moment, of course, in the Premiership. So let's move on to best bets. And what I'll ask you to do is perhaps just run through, a quick summary of your bets in the Premiership and then what your best one is. And then we'll talk a little bit about international and URC to see what you fancy for the weekend.
Yeah, sure, Brent. So best bet would be that Harlequins over 51.5. Even if you can get over 52.5, that's 8 to 10. I think that's an absolute cracker. Then just on the spreads, I like Bristol Bears plus 10.5. I think it's still readily available. that should be a goodie. Exeter Chief Falcons. Yeah, it's gonna be a seriously tight fixture. So I'd probably leave that alone. If you can get either team to win by 7 or less at about 13 or 14 to 10, I think that's probably the right way to go on that one. So those are my three best bets for the Gallagher.
And then looking at the internationals, we've got Wales against Australia. Anything there for you?
Sure, Brent. It's a tricky roster for the two. To be honest, when these games first opened up, I was looking to back Wales on a nice plus. I think it opened up at about 2.5, 3.5. I got caught napping a little bit there. Then the game sort of went into a choice game. I got sort of sniffs from my scouts over in Australia that there could be some injury problems. So I managed to nab some Wales to win at 9 to 10. So that's what I'm currently sitting on at the moment. But to be honest, at this 1.5, 2.5 handicap, I'd still lean Wales on the minus here. I also love that either team to win by 7 or less. Even with both these teams at full strength, it's always sort of it goes down to the wire type fixture between these two sides. But I just got that feeling that over at Millennium Stadium, I know Wales have been absolutely awful, but it's a tough place to play no matter who you are. And Wales just play to the level of the opposition. Against Georgia, supposedly weak opposition, they play absolutely poorly, but against good opposition, they seem to raise their game. So I feel like a bounce back is on the cards for Wales here. So tentative call, but leaning Wales on the minus here. And I also just don't back the Australian discipline. And in tight fixtures, that's ultimately going to count against them here. So yeah, that's my feels for the Wales Australia game. And then also I do like that under 49.5. I think that the conductor pointed out there. I think that should be a goodie. Two sort of disjointed sides coming up against each other. It'll be sort of two teams cancelling out one another. So I like that under 49.5, but a bigger fancy will be on under strides. If I can get 5.5 or 6.5, I think that'll be an absolute cracker. And then just touching on the England box game. Also, I've just gone left and right in this fixture. When it opened up it was almost a choice game. I think England were minus 0.5. I was quite keen to get behind England to win the game. I just thought that they would be able to see out a tough fixture and sort of continue their momentum after a very impressive last 10 minutes against the All Blacks last weekend, especially with the box missing a couple of their first choice players due to club commitments and all of that. But when the handicap drifted up to 5.5, I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. A bit of disrespect, I thought, in my mind to the Springboks and just sort of the set piece that they've managed. And what you must remember is that the Springboks, you can look at their results and you think that they've had a poor tour, but at the end of the day, they've covered every single handicap that they played in. Against France, the handicap was 4.5. They lost by 4.
Against Ireland, about that one. Yes.
yeah, exactly. Again, Ireland, they covered the cap, and against Italy, they smashed the cap. So in my mind, the Boks have done more than what the bookmakers expected them to do. I think it's going to be one and the same here. So at 3.5, I just look at this England. I do think that they will win a seriously close fixture here, but I think that the Boks should have enough to cover the spread here. So tentative once again, but I do like Boks plus 3.5, and then I also do like that either team by 7 or less in the Springboks England game as well.
I was going to say that's a nice double I've been considering as well. With sort of both internationals are the team by 7 or less, because I just don't see a lot of distance between either of the sides this weekend. Let's see what Farid has to say. You don't beat the Boks without a proper inside centre. And I won't run through all the games, Neil, but just United Rugby Championship. Anything stand out for you there?
Yeah, Brett, a couple of nice fancies for me over there. I'm massive. I've got. It's almost scary to think how much loose I've got down on the Scarlets plus 17.5 half tonight. So yeah, that's a big confidence.
And I see that line has moved. It's come. It's the money.
What's it at
the
now?
Conductor was also on earlier. I think it's about 13.5 or 12.5 perhaps now.
Yeah, I'd still take that. And then elsewhere, I've taken a bit of bulls over 36.5. Not too big because I'm just always a bit nervous about summer conditions over in the Highveld. I like Benetton to beat Edinburgh quite strongly. I think you can get that at about 7 to 10. I think that should be still available. And then elsewhere, I like that Sharks Cardiff under 52.5. I think it is, or under 53.5. So those are my main interests in the URC.
Yeah, I think it's come in a little bit there as well, but you can probably get it if you take a slightly shorter price on those. Yeah, I must say, looking forward to a bit of URC this weekend. Farid just saying he's putting on draw first half Box England to win 3 weeks ago and hit 30 to 1. Yeah, I must say, looking forward to the weekend, Neil, and I can see you're pretty excited for it as well. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, what else you got planned for the weekend? You're going to be watching any? Been following the World Cup soccer at all, or not really?
Yeah, Brent, I'll definitely keep an eye or two on the World Cup soccer, but main interest definitely from a punting and viewing perspective on the Ruggers.
Excellent. That was Thoughts on Sports joining us there with his views on the Gallagher Premiership and also on the other rugby. Thanks to the guys who watch live. Thanks for Reid for contributing there. And we look forward to seeing you next week for what might be the last handicap show of the year next Thursday night at 9 o'clock, because I'm heading off to the freezing cold UK to watch my son play a little bit of rugby. Neil, thanks a lot, man. Have a great weekend.
No, thanks so much, Brett. Cheers.